And welcome back to Sticks and Strings. I'm Naomi.
I'm Beth.
I'm Eve.
And will be the second Sunday of Advent, so I hope your season is going well. We are here. I don't even know what happened to this week. I mean, I was literally here yesterday making a recording with you guys. That's how it feels.
Yeah, I was like...
Because it was after Thanksgiving.
It's Saturday already?
I don't know. It went by really fast.
Yeah, because
part of it was I had my aunt visiting. So, when you have a visitor...
You went to the concert, you went to rehearsals.
Oh, yeah, I had a concert, and I had rehearsal Monday night with my group, and we had a concert Tuesday night, and then Mary left on Wednesday. But I don't know what happened. I remember I was going to make these coasters. Okay, so I'm going first. I was going to make these coasters for the thing that's going on tonight, the pajama party,
Another
things.
Another thing that's happening.
Yeah. And
that's the way the month of December is.
I decided to make these coasters, did I start them last week?
No, before that.
I started before that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why. It's taken me so long. It's like every time I sit down, and they're easy and they're fast, but every time I sit down to make them, the one thing you have to be able to do is count. And even like someone's talking to me constantly, I can't focus. Mm-hmm. Or I'm sleepy. Like the one I was making last night, this one, I don't know if it has the right amount of stitches in it because I was like... And then I'm like, okay, wait. Because for each round, you increase one. But it's kind of hard to see once it's done, And I'm like, wait, what is this? What round am I on? What am I doing? But it came out okay. So I have made 3 green ones.
Maybe that's why it's bigger.
1, 2, 3. And then 3 brown ones. 1, 2, 3. And I have 3 blue ones. Let me see. Like, where are they all?
I'm stealing a needle from this.
Oh, here they are.
Thing.
So here's 1 blue one. 2 blue ones. And these still have the... Huh? I still have to weave in the ends.
Is that the end on?
And I have 1 purple one.
3 stitches in. 1 thread.
So this one is complete with 4 coasters. So I need to make 2 more purple ones. As you watch this video, I'm going to try to make them. Because this afternoon is busy too. And then the party's at 5, which is early. And Rachel's coming to my house at 4:30, and so I have got to get on it. So, and the question is, do I weave in ends right now, or do I just make? I better just make them because I can weave in. And my other problem is, I don't know if you can tell, but I just grabbed cotton in the colors I thought would look good, and I don't know if this is a different brand of cotton. It must be because it's way thicker, and so like this blue one, even. The green and black ones are pretty much the same size. But the blue one came out remarkably kind of smaller. And then I make this purple one, and it's bigger than all of them. It's so funny.
Are you sure you counted right?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, well, no, I'm sure. I'm sure. But, and even though I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit down to crochet, and then, I don't know, you start watching videos or, I don't know, playing games and on your phone, and you waste time.
Well, and then you have to make dinner. And
yeah, and well, so I've had the hardest time making these 16 little coasters. So that's what I'm doing today. And I literally have done nothing else. I was like, okay, my aunt's going home on Wednesday.
We're going to show it later.
Yeah, we have done something else. But for me personally, I'm like, my aunt's going home Wednesday. I'm going to take over my craft room. I'm going to pull out my sewing machine. I'm going to work on these quilts. Nada.
Me either. The same thing.
Nada. Nothing. And
my sewing machine stayed put away until...
Well, yeah. So then, but part of that was that I was like, okay, Mary Lou's going home Wednesday, and then we need to sew pillowcases. Should I go ahead and talk about that?
No, we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. But we did a lot of pillowcase sewing. So I have some to show you. But,
I did a lot of ironing.
Yeah, she was our ironing queen. Nobody can understand you when you have needles in your mouth.
I know.
But, she was our iron queen. She was good at it.
She doesn't have a personal sewing machine. We had two sewing machines.
Yeah,
going.
2 sewing machines going.
Sew.
And so
you know how she just doesn't.
But
I don't sew.
But you actually, because you're meticulous, your ironing skills were great.
Yeah, I iron terribly.
And
apparently I cut badly too. And apparently,
And
used
apparently
so
so
badly.
badly. I should get that one. That pillowcase.
Yeah, because I was ironing and I thought, and I went to pull on this thing, and
we'll talk
that's
about
for
it at the
story time.
pillowcase and everything. But yeah, so I'm going to be working on this from start to finish. I hope to make 2 while we're talking. So if I'm over here counting madly, that's why, because you have to keep track of what row you're on and how many you're in. But I was very fortunate in that when I was here yesterday, we were talking about movies, and my nephew was like, we were talking about Planet of the Apes, the new Planet of the Apes that were in, I think, 2014, 11, 14, and 17 is when they came out. And if you haven't seen them, find them. Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and War for the Planet of the Apes are the 3 that were made in the like I said, in 2011, 14, and 17. And I love them. I absolutely love them. And Robert was like, I have those movies. And I'm like, get out of here. He goes, yeah, I've got the Blu-rays. And he pulls out the set of Blu-rays, and I open them up, and the digital code coupons were in there. And I was like, have you used these digital codes? He's like, I don't do that. And I'm like, oh, can I have them? So I have those digital codes of those movies now. I'm so happy. And
Did you bring back the?
no, because Mark and we watched the first one.
Oh, how fun!
I watched the first one, and then when he came home, I was like, you want to watch a movie with me? And he thought he had seen it, but he wasn't sure. And I'm like, well, you can't watch the other 2 unless you're sure you've seen the first one. So we watched the first one again, and then I watched the second one. Sort of. I slept through the second one while I was trying to I was trying to crochet, and but I'm sure we'll watch the second one together. I don't mind watching them 1,000 times, but yeah. So that was that was exciting. But other than that, I have done 0 in my own personal sewing or anything like that. So this is all I'm doing is crocheting little things, and
I have
so
less
many
time
plans.
and less production.
Yeah, I've had so many plans, but this week, and then I was like, oh, let's add something. I've decided I'm going to make cookie gifts for all my friends, like at youth orchestra and Mark's office, somebody, and I'm like, okay, now when am I going to do that? And finish.
But you have a fantastic oven now.
I do have a new oven. That's why I want to do it. 1, 2, 3. So anyway, my week, I feel like I only had a few days actually of my week. Because when, I love her, but when my aunt was here, I really couldn't do anything, because she was in my craft room, and when she wasn't, it just, there was no time. I can't describe it.
Well, because
you know how it is when
you
have
were
company.
taking her to Costco,
Yeah.
and
Just
we
all
went to
kinds of
Costco.
outings. That's what I did. Okay, that'll be story time. But anyway, I'm working on this, so it's your turn, Beth. What you doing?
I have a new start. I don't have a finish, but I did work on that reindeer towel. I made good progress on it. I don't have it right here in front of me. But I'm starting on this Prairie School Santa that Naomi chose last week.
Yay.
So I just this morning, was just now before we started the video, cutting this fabric.
I helped her.
Yeah. And that's why there's a big old crease down the side, because I had this is a larger piece of fabric I had folded up. But and when I was starting it, I was like, I don't have a needle. I don't know if this hoop is too big for this. So I'm scrambling around. But I do have, I meant to take this out. A couple things. I worked a little bit on the Andorian that I talked about last week. I had like just a scrap of thread on that I had, like I said, I had tried like, I don't know, like maybe 5 times to start that Andorian. And so I finally did start it. It's just a little bitty, little black blob here. That's his
accomplished.
Foot. And I don't even know when I did that.
Just
I think
joking.
last like, I don't know, Sunday or Monday or something. I have not touched it since then. Although I might swap hoops that one for this one because that cloth is bigger. But I'm sorry about I haven't started your snowman yet. So I have to look and see if I've got the right color fabric, and I hadn't decided on it. I haven't thought about it or anything. I'm going to go ahead and take this out of the hoop just because so you can see it better. So this is, I think last time I had I just started these two reindeer in the middle.
It's so cute.
So, yeah.
It's going to be adorable.
So and then Santa goes here in the sleigh.
So,
yeah,
so
Santa
Eli's
goes
going to
here in
get
the sleigh.
2 towels and Robert will get part of an Andorian. Is that what you're saying?
Well, Eli might not get this one because I might not finish it. But actually, it's going pretty fast.
It looks like they're wearing pants.
Yeah. They're wearing like little sweaters.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And little hats.
And brown pants.
Yeah. But, so I was doing and I kind of had a rhythm of how to do, a plan on how to do the brown.
Yeah.
And then I did the green on these guys. And so I haven't done the last two because I had the hoop, I didn't want to move the hoop.
Yeah.
But so now I'm doing red on these, so.
Cute.
Yeah, so that's cute. And I did, this is like the scarf, this little, it's like.
And there's added cat hair.
Yeah.
Oops.
What fell down? The needle
Her
minder?
noodle minder. I knocked it off. Oh, wait, stop. There's
You
your
got
needle.
it? Yeah.
I'll get it in a second.
Everything I own is on the floor now. I was opening my project bag that this was in, and I actually pulled the charm off of it. So it hit the floor, so.
Oh.
I think
everything I own is on the floor.
I think we better pause so I can get it. The
dog might eat everything.
Anyway.
Okay, so the dog did not eat anything.
Maybe.
We think.
We can't find the elephant.
She dropped her elephant charm, but I'm sure the dog didn't eat that.
Let's put that over there somewhere or wherever. Yeah. So I'm in the process of trying to start this Santa. And is the attic stuff now or yeah.
Yeah. Might as well. We don't have that much to do that.
So yesterday, they had called about a pattern that she had ordered, so we had to go to the attic. And of course, and I was talking
and
to
they went, well, I had to take my dad to the doctor on purpose. They planned it that way, so I couldn't go. I'm sure my husband told you to do that.
But, while we were at the attic, I was talking to the ladies there, and they said that I had ordered last time we were there a few weeks ago. I had ordered the last rabbit patterns for October, November, and December because they didn't have them there. So I went ahead and ordered them, and they told me, oh, that's coming in like on Monday or Tuesday or something. So on next Saturday, we'll be forced to go back to the attic. So anyway, so we went to pick up her pattern. So of course I had to buy stuff. So I saw this little. This is from.
That's the mouse I
Yeah,
bought.
that's the mouse you bought. I recognized it. Just Another Button Company. Jabco pattern. Put this. It says. Sorry. It says shh. It says, not a creature was stirring is a gift for you when you purchase the Jabco buttons. It has a little mouse button and a stocking.
I didn't get that.
But, so yeah. So
Can I see?
Yeah. It's a tiny little thing.
It's very
but it has
cute.
those little button charms.
Oh my gosh.
All I need
the
to
holes
do-
on the buttons are tiny.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. All I
have
need to
get
do
using
now
a tiny
is
needle.
buy the stocking one, and I can make that.
That's cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I bought a project bag for Naomi.
Yay! Yay! Now I can use this on my reindeer one, which I don't have with me. Yay! Thank you.
Because we haven't yet dyed the
Dye
fabric.
the fabric. That's
Yeah.
another thing I need to do.
And then this one, I had seen this. It's a Brenda Gervais pattern, and I'd seen. She had advertised it, I guess, on her Instagram or somewhere. So I'd seen it. And I wanted it, but but then they had it at the attic. So it's a little booklet. So it has these 3 patterns here, and I think these
Those
patterns on the back.
It's called the snowball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's a little house.
And a recipe for popcorn balls.
Oh, wow. I haven't even looked at this yet.
A little house.
So
Ooh.
there's a little snowman there by himself. And I think this is one of the ones that's on this front cover. So you can make them as, little pillows, whatever.
Little ornaments. I think there's more in there than you think.
Yeah, there's just a whole bunch of patterns. So
how nice.
Yeah, so like this one is a snow globe kind of thing. It's got a little, thing around it to make it look like a snow globe. And and this little snowman on a sled. So
We'll take pictures here.
Yeah, pictures because they're very tiny. But this one says photo booth fun, so it has the 3 little snowmen making
faces.
Making faces, yeah.
How funny.
So
That's so cute.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Look at that house.
It's a little house.
Looks like a good house.
Snowy chalet.
Oh yeah, that's on this page.
Yeah.
That's neat.
So yeah, so I was it has this picture of the snowy chalet, and then it has a popcorn ball recipe. So I like this. I want to make it right away. But, I can't. And the other thing that was kind of funny is this LL Bean catalog. When I first moved to Little Rock, in my first apartment in 2025, whoever had lived there before me, somebody had lived there before me, had a subscription or had received, anyway, this magazine. So, it always came in the mail, and I was like, yeah, it's really, everything is really nice, but, I threw it away. And then one Christmas, I ordered some things from the LL Bean catalog, because I thought, I was flipping through it, and I thought, well, these will work as Christmas presents or whatever. So then I started receiving it in my name, right? And every once in a while, every few years, I would order something. So then I moved to my second apartment, and I didn't tell LL Bean, and I hadn't ordered anything from LL Bean, but they found me. And so I started receiving magazines there at my second apartment. And then, in 2015, I moved to Phoenix, and I didn't tell LL Bean anything. I didn't order anything from LL Bean. And yesterday, this catalog came in my name. They found me. So.
And this is your third place you've lived in Arizona, and they found you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they find people.
Yeah, this is my third
LL Bean
address.
reminds me when I went to school in Boston, because there was an outlet that we used to go to. And I remember I used to want to be a preppy girl, but
I
it
love
never worked out.
I love their clothes, and actually, I was thinking about looking for something for my dad in here.
Yeah.
So, because that's what I bought.
Yeah.
Out of this catalog before.
Yeah, he's the only one who doesn't dress like an Arizonan. He
Yeah.
dresses
Robert has
lots of flannels.
really likes those. His girlfriend likes the way he looks in them.
Oh yeah, the plaid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I might get him one of these if it was
I think
cold
this
enough
is
to
the
him.
first girl he's dated that he cares what she thinks.
Yeah, I almost got at the attic. They had these drink, travel things that say the attic, and it says where samplers rule, which is the phrase they have there.
This is fun.
Yeah. So.
I like LLB. Should I put this here?
Yeah, that's fine. So I think
Is that you?
that's it. Me.
Shoot.
But that's Eve.
Well, I
All
couldn't
the
get
cussing is going over you.
I couldn't get this in the right hole. It wouldn't go in. The needle wouldn't go in, and then finally it went in, and I was like, "Oh yay!" That's the wrong hole. So, I started. Had I started this last week? I don't think so.
What is that? No, definitely. I don't think you'd started
I
yet.
started it before
You
my
showed
video.
the pattern, yeah, because you showed the pattern, but
I think I
you hadn't
started it
started yet.
before my video.
15.
But this is "Let Heaven and Nature Sing" by Sweet Wing Studio. So that's what I'm working on. I've gotten this far. Didn't work on it a lot. Actually, haven't been working on very much cross stitch at all. Not because lack of desire. Just I would go over there to stitch and I'd sit down and go. I've had a real problem. It's like narcolepsy almost. But I had a new start also. This is one of the patterns that I designed last year. I'm going to do better pictures of it to put it on the web. I know. And I could tell you when, but I'm not going.
Oh yeah, I remember those two last year.
Last year we gave one away free.
But it was way after Christmas, right? Because we were going to do it. And everybody got sick.
I think it was a different one. But at the time I thought I really want to make those. I want to. Wasn't positive how I wanted to make them, but it's called The Greatest Story. It's up on our Etsy site. That's not why I'm making it, but the middle one is where I started, and you can't see it. But I can, in person it shows up very well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm making it, they're made with a little hanger. See the little hanger? But if you wanted to make those as individuals by themselves, you would just fill in those little things and not put the silver on it because they've got the little silver thing on it. But so you could make them as individuals and fill them in the thing and hang them on the tree if you want to. But they just depict scenes from the Bible story. And I really wanted to make them and have them as a little wall thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think this is a good color for them. But so that was my new start, and all I can do is sigh. So last year I showed you. Last year? Why do I keep saying year? Last week.
Time is flying by.
I showed you that I had them all sewn together, but not cut to be sewn like this. And very early in the week.
You made me laugh and now I lost count.
Very early in the week.
Sorry.
I cut them all. But when I was cut, and they're, you see how they're square? See? When I was cutting this one, see how it's not square? And yeah, it's very sad. I cut the middle section wrong.
We have a photo of the wrong. We'll put it in here where the very first time she cut it.
When I cut it, yeah, this was like in the middle of them.
Yeah,
and
it happens. Your brain all of a sudden. That's why I was having such a hard time with that. Those panels I was cutting last time. You just can't. I don't know.
Well, no, I was interrupted and interrupted and interrupted and interrupted. And you know, when that happens, your concentration goes out the window, you know?
Yeah.
And so I needed to cut it at 2 1/4 inches, and I cut it at 1 1/4 inches. And I could have sworn it was at 2 1/4 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just was like.
Fortunately, you have squares.
But fortunately,
Yeah.
I have enough squares to make a whole new one if I wanted to, including making new pinwheels. So I can fix it. But I just sat there staring at it for a few minutes, like, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry.
No, when you cry is when you have no extra squares.
When I cried, yeah, I would have
That's the day you cry.
I would have had to go buy little bits of this type of fabric. But, you know, I ordered this from Missouri Star.
I know. And
So-
sometimes when you, especially like if you have a pattern and it's all sold out and there's no way to get it, and oh yeah, those are times when you cry.
So I every day I kept going, I need to start sewing those together. I wanted to have all the panels sewn together in this stage by today.
Yeah,
Best laid plans, because I did do a lot of sewing.
we did.
I did. But not that. Anyway, and then when we went to the attic, the chart, and I think we talked about this chart. When I was asking for the chart, they looked it up and they're like, "Oh yeah."
It's really
This
cute.
is so cute. And I can't remember where I saw it. Was it on a Flosstube video?
I think so.
What's it called?
Woodland
Holiday, kind and gentle Woodland
Yeah.
Holiday sampler.
Is that
Oh.
that really cute one? Yeah.
My God!
Every time, the more you look at it, the more you find that you love.
Oh wow!
And we sat there at the attic, all going, "Oh, look at that! And look at that! And look at that!" And
The
one
bunnies are all wearing sweaters,
and one of
and
the
the deer's wearing sweaters.
Beth promised to stitch it for me if I bought it. It's not huge or anything, and it's not really super complicated, but it is. I just knew she would be more likely to get it done. It's so cute.
Bonus.
Follow. It says bonus. Follow easy directions and diagrams to make a holiday pillow. Maybe with just that bird, I don't know.
I think it's just directions to make it into a pillow.
Oh, nice.
So, the maker is Artful Offerings. One of the ladies at the attic even ordered one for herself.
Yeah, they were saying, "Did we have that one? Did we?" And then because they thought I was pretty sure we had that one. This is when the week that we ordered it, and we went to look at they have a little rack of new patterns or whatever, and there was like a little hole there, a little opening, the empty hanger thing. And she goes, "Yeah, it was right there."
Yeah, and I was like, oh, because I really wanted it. No, it's how to turn this into a
How to make it
pillow.
into a pillow instead of a wall hanging or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't even look at this. I just handed it to Beth. It's a black and white pattern.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It's okay.
But it's big and clear, so that's nice. But I was so happy when I got it was on a voicemail on Thursday, and they're only open on Friday and Saturday, and I was a week ago on Saturday, but we have that thing tonight, and I was like, no, I don't want to wait another week. That's why we had to go.
I see.
That was the only time to really go. And then we came home, and the living room was full of stuff, and I couldn't even reach that to sew it. But there was stuff here.
But you were glad the living room was full of stuff.
I was.
Yes.
I asked for it to be.
Yeah.
So,
Because my dad and Robert pulled all the Christmas stuff out.
Yeah.
but also, I got the threads to go with this, and there was a red thread that isn't there. And so I'm going to have to get it. It's not like she's going to sew it tomorrow. So, it's not a Christmas present. It is a Christmas design, but Christmas comes every year, and it's not a Christmas present or anything. So, and as you recall,
Paper.
Put this on that.
Paper
LLB
noise.
thing.
Paper noise.
yeah, as you recall, last year I was lamenting about my tiny amount of Louisiana hot sauce. And
You mean last year? Do you
Last
mean last
week.
week?
did I say last year?
Yes.
I told you yeah.
I
She's
guess
in a
Eve
time
is here
warp.
on a time warp. I was just going to say a time warp. Eve, have you been using the time machine again? That's only for special occasions.
If I stop moving, I fall asleep. It's unbelievable. So I also wanted to pick up some Louisiana hot sauce while we were there. Well, it is Christmas, so the Louisiana hot sauce was gone. As
No,
was
you're not talking about actual hot sauce.
No.
no.
You're talking about thread.
Thread.
That is the color of
Yeah.
hot sauce.
Yeah.
Just wanted to clarify that for our
So-
new viewers.
So, although Louisiana hot sauce sounds actually delicious, but, I don't know how far this is going to go because this is what I'm using on Until a Good Night. I still haven't watched the Stitching with Housewives video. It's been a day. So, I looked and they were out of stock, and I asked them, "Do you know?" The one that's called for in the pattern, I don't think it would match this one because I just used a red that I had, not necessarily the red they called for, but even so, the one that was called for was gone. And most of the reds were gone. But I did find Classic Color Works Cupid, and it's pretty close. It's close enough that I don't want to start in the middle of a motif, but I think if it's not in the middle of a motif, you wouldn't be able to really tell. And when I was looking for reds in the Weeks Dye Works, I saw this color. It's called Ladybug, and it just I just want to design a ladybug so I can use it because it is black and red,
Yeah.
like a ladybug. It's adorable.
Let me
But-
see that. Hold on. 4, 5. Hold on. Oh, how cute. And the black isn't solid either. It's like browns and blacks.
Well, it's going from the red to the black,
right. How neat.
So
I wonder how that would work.
So that's me.
How it would come out.
And I want to start stories because I was telling you that we had to clear 2 big bins from here. I didn't even know where those bins had come from. But they had come from my mother's house. Well, at least one of them had. And my mother, I wouldn't classify her as a hoarder, but she saved anything that she thought had meaning. And there were art projects and all kinds of stuff from the kids when they were little, from us.
From us when we were little.
So I found, and you probably can't see it, so we'll probably have to take a picture of these pictures. This is a picture of we 4 siblings, my brother and the 3 of us. I was in junior high because I have this nasty hair.
Oh, that's Tim.
Yeah.
I saw that
His
long
big old
hair. I
fro.
thought that was one of us.
Naomi's
I didn't
sitting on
realize-
Tim's lap in that
Yeah.
one.
And our matching pajamas. Oh
And
my
my Donald
gosh.
Duck, my inflatable Donald Duck.
And do you remember that bear, Beth?
Let me see.
How cute am I? Oh my gosh.
And there's the
cute.
Ernie doll.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was Naomi's
And
Ernie
my big
doll.
panda.
Bert. That's Bert.
That's Bert.
Did I say Ernie?
Mm-hmm.
I meant to say Sesame Street.
You said Ernie last year.
It's another photo like that. It's the same year.
It's the same year.
Yeah.
But
same pajamas.
A while back, Naomi and Beth and I decided to have our picture taken with Santa. Was this at Bass Pro Shop?
Is it? No. Let me see.
It might have been at Bass Pro Shop.
Why do you think that?
Because they let you take free pictures.
No, I think it was
No.
at the mall in Albuquerque or something.
Yeah.
Because I think we have one of Mark then too.
Does it say in the back?
I'm sure it does.
Mom always writes everything. Oops.
Oops.
You took the picture out.
No, it has a.
So I also found a picture of Robert with Santa Claus. And
No,
that
it
was
doesn't have a
unusual
date.
because Robert didn't like people dressed as anything.
Yeah.
When he
Doesn't
was
say.
little at Red Robin, the Robin, somebody came in dressed as the Robin. He almost pulled his skin off trying to get out. You know, I always belted him in, into the high chair.
Yeah.
He almost peeled his skin off trying to get away.
No.
And afterward, we'd drive by there and he'd go, "Is the birdie there? The birdie? Is the birdie there?"
It says mall here.
Yeah.
So I think it was in Albuquerque at the mall.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I remember that.
At the Cottonwood Mall.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't here because I'm wearing a sweater.
No.
No.
And I
You're-
never. I wasn't.
And you're
out here for
wearing a
Christmas.
turtleneck and a jacket.
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
It must have been in Albuquerque over
yeah.
Christmas.
Anyway, this is us. So, I found a little tiny doily with a stamped imprint of Joy's paw.
Aww.
Oh yeah.
That's one of our dogs. It was a dog I gave to my mother a long time ago, and
She always put things that were special. She would get a paper doily and either put like a photograph or something in the middle of it. I have a lot of those, so she gave
but
them to
this
the
was
kids.
this was actually stamped on the doily.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
My
paw
mother
pr-
loved paper doilies. That's one thing she would.
So I
always
have that over there.
Aw.
I put that up in the one of my son over there where he could see him. And because Joy was his first dog. It was my mom's dog, but when he very first came to live with us, that was the dog that was there.
Yeah.
And 21 years ago.
Yeah.
And that was his first dog.
Yeah.
And when that dog died, he just wandered around the house saying, "I don't have a friend anymore." So I went to the pound and let him choose a dog.
Yeah.
and on the way home, he was so mad because they wouldn't let him take the dog home that day.
Oh.
Yeah, and on the way back, I said, "So what do you," to try to distract him from the fact that he couldn't. We were going to go back the next day and get the dog,
Yeah.
but what do you want to name? What do you want to name her? He goes, "I don't know, friend or something." I thought to myself, "Here, friend. That's how she got the name Amiga.
That's a good name though.
Well, yeah, it's the same thing.
No, I know. I'm saying it's
Yeah,
a good
so
choice.
I just felt like, okay, we can say Amiga, but friend?
That's why I always called her La Migra.
La migra.
So that's part of our stories.
Yeah.
Sorry. This is me.
Oh, other than the fact that
5.
I foolishly lifted, I wanted to make it easier to get into one of these bins that I have a whole bunch of, I like glassware stuff. And you will see next week, I have a lot of snowmen, but they're all glass or ceramic. And this is heavy. So I had gotten about half of them out, but I was bent over the whole time. And I have them very carefully wrapped with my Christmas clothing. So I didn't have any Christmas clothing that I could get out to wear unless that stuff was there. And I wrap it with my Christmas clothing to solve 2 problems. Storing my Christmas clothing and keeping the ceramic stuff because it's soft and,
Yeah.
it's better than paper. So I was tired of bending over. It was hurting my back. So what was my solution? Lifting it and putting it on top of another box. So heavy.
Yeah.
I had planned to sew. No, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't move. I went to go put something down near my son, and I started to bend over, and I went,
That's like me 2 weeks ago.
I made this sound, but I mean, I just,
Yeah.
She grunted when she bent over.
I made this sound, and he, because he was
startled.
asleep there, and he's like, "Why did you do that?" And I'm like, "It was involuntary."
Yeah.
So it happens when you get old.
Yeah.
There's some commercial, one of those. I think it's an insurance commercial where they talk about turning into your parents.
Yeah.
And so this one guy goes to sit down and goes, he goes, and the insurance guy goes, "Did you hear that?"
Yeah. Yeah.
You sound just like your father.
Try doing it without the noise.
Yeah.
So, shall we talk about the pillowcases now?
Yeah.
Do you want to bring
So-
the bad one before we talk about the good
we'll
ones?
bring the bad one. Well, it's kind of in pieces. I'm going to just tell the story of it. Well,
Yeah.
actually, excuse me. So, yeah, we should bring I'm bringing a burrito over here. We call this a burrito.
You want to talk about this first?
No.
Okay.
This is a burrito. So we take the pillowcase fabric and we lay it. You can see in our video, right? That we made the 411 project video of how we go about this. But so this is what our burrito looks like.
And we have a big
So-
stack of them.
It's a roll of fabric here. This is the main part of the pillowcase, and this out here is the cuff, and the little trim fabric is caught in there. And so the idea is you sew it all along down here. And when you do that, you have to catch both sides of the cuff, the trim piece, and the main pillowcase part.
But
And
it's a blind sew.
it is.
You have to trust. You mean you can kind of see
You
the
can check
edges?
as you go to make sure, okay, I have all 3 layers and it's going into the foot. But if you have a particularly slippery fabric, it can go all over and you think you have it, or especially if the colors are real similar, it's hard to see, do I have them all?
And cotton fabric frays.
It frays and it's slippery sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we used pins or these clips. I'm going to put this here now. But Beth was ironing, so after you do that, you pull that main pillowcase fabric out of that center, that roll. You pull it and turn it inside out. And we demonstrated all that on our video. And as Beth was ironing this one, and it's not in pieces, right? You got it all done, right? She saw this big section.
I stuck my thumb through it. I was pulling it, to make sure there wasn't
Because
a crease.
she makes these great ironing
And
things
I-
that are flat.
And I went to smooth it out or straighten it out,
And all of a sudden
my
she goes,
thumb
"Ah!"
went whoop right through between the pieces.
And the bad thing is that
This,
the only solution is to take that seam out.
Oh.
Well, in order to do that, I had to pull it back through the seam and keep pulling it back.
Oh, I can't get one out. I was trying to get one that's sewn into that position, because what happens is the seam is completely inside, so you can't just
You can't
take
see
it
it
out.
to take it out or to fix just that spot. So
So you have to completely take it apart. So that's
while
what
I
this
was doing
is.
that, I was like, "Is this really easier?"
Sewing it
Because
this way.
when I was in junior high, when we were learning to sew, I already knew how to sew in junior high. By that time, I had been sewing clothes for her. But I just, to have to pull it back like that is very hard. And then I was like, I can't sew this back this way, because one of them I did, but this
Because
one
it was just
I
the
couldn't.
end, I think. But here it was kind of in the middle, and so she had to take that whole. You have to turn it back.
I
Inside
had to take the
out
whole
again.
seam out.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I just have to start from the beginning, because I was like, I can feel the roll of fabric right there, and I'll just catch it in there.
Yeah. So so that was our one disaster.
Because you have to not catch the main fabric while you're doing that. So
Well, you fix it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't have one to show in that stage,
okay.
but here let's have a parade. We did a lot of work. These are actually finished. Here, Beth.
we've got to cover up Beth. It's tradition.
There's one. Look at this one. So cute.
Baby
Little baby
Yoda.
Yoda. And here's a Mandalorian, another baby Yoda, and the Mando. Kind of like small Lego figures almost.
And this is all thanks to y'all.
Yes, thank you so much for your donations of fabric and money.
And we even
Look at
got
Winnie
more.
the Pooh. Look at this one. This is cool.
This is the
Marvel.
Marvel Comics characters. Iron Man and the Hulk. And
Was this one ironed?
No, this is
they haven't gotten the final
this
ironing.
is pre-final ironing.
Okay.
Yeah.
It needs one more iron.
Tinkerbell?
Tinkerbell.
So what we're aiming for is, kids of different ages and, different tastes.
So
And
here's a nautical
You know,
one.
a teenage girl is going to want something different
Then a
then a
5-year-old.
young boy.
than a teenage boy. They're going to want something
or a 5-year-old
sophisticated.
or whatever.
Or a
Look at-
5-year-old boy.
Let's stop on this one. This is like sugar skull Star Wars faces and a little Star Wars cuff.
I think a boy of almost any age would like that.
I think a girl would like that. Look at this. Is this not gorgeous?
I want this one so badly. I just love those jungle animals.
It's so cute.
Oops.
This one.
Now
This
we bought fabrics at Hobby Lobby and Joann's, and we had donated fabrics as
Yeah.
well.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that.
I love this one too.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
gosh,
the cuff
I
is
love
kind of
this
got
one.
like little circles, like bubbles. We have so many more. We have a total of, I think, just
70.
over 70.
And that's not including the fabric that just came to us.
Oh, wait, let's turn it over because it has a different cuff on that side. It's a dark. So this is for, this is the Happy Dreams. Or maybe this is the, what, so if you have a nightmare, you can turn it over and you have a different cuff. We didn't realize when we bought that fabric for the cuff has a gradient on it, so it's kind of cool.
One is the hot side and one is the
One
cool
is a cool side, yeah. There you go.
You flip your pillow over.
You realize that
And
if
this-
it were me, I would be frustrated if it's on the wrong side. I would
I
have
know,
to
you'd
flip
have
it
to
over
turn it over.
always.
That's cool. This is all Mandalorian again.
Yeah. The cuff says, "This is the way."
Let's look at comic book
Oh,
strips.
let me
This is
pull this
so
off.
cute.
Sorry,
Look
the
at
needle
this
is
one.
Catching.
This was donated fabric, and I don't know. We thought we had a hard time matching it, but we found a perfect match.
Yeah,
I
this
think.
purple and the orange
Yeah.
matches these
I think
flowers.
this fabric was donated as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. This flower fabric was a donation.
Yeah, but I think that so the cuff was too.
Oh yeah, maybe so. So pretty. Oh,
It's very
Wonder
60s. I love it.
Woman.
What?
Wonder
Oh,
Woman.
woman.
You gotta have the girl comic. book
Yeah.
character,
So
too.
there's Wonder Woman.
Unfortunately, there aren't as many.
No.
There
Save
was
the
no.
day.
There was no. What is that current one? That was in the Marvel comic stuff.
Oh,
Captain
Captain
something.
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, they didn't have any Captain Marvel.
Since
She must
when-
not have been popular.
This
She's
is
basically a god.
Another Tinkerbell one.
Tinkerbell. Oh, and look, this one's cute. Puppies
The doggies and the
and dog
bones.
bones.
Now that fabric was donated by me. I had bought it and I was like never finding anything to make a bag with it.
Yeah.
And so when I thought about these pillowcases,
And
I
look
was
at
like,
this one. This is
perfect.
cool.
Yeah.
oh,
Space.
I love this one.
Spacey. And those are the ones we have finished. Woohoo! And we have a bunch in burrito form, like I showed you. We have a few that need to be trimmed still, and then we have a bunch that have the they've had the burrito seam done, and then they need the 2 finishing seams. So
Well, and we have more fabric.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah, and we recently got a donation of fabric and a McDonald's gift card. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to our wonderful viewer who sent that. As a real treat.
That's from Dovey. I keep saying her name Dovey. Debbie Crawford.
Yeah.
I say it backwards. Yeah. So she and her mom sent some fabric and this gift card.
That's so fun
Yeah.
for McDonald's, since we always drink McDonald's. But so that was neat. So
Yes.
the
Thank you very much.
70 pillowcases, 70 plus that we have in the works does not include that fabric that she just sent. So that's
right.
really neat.
And-
And what's really great is that we plan to try to supply them with these every year. So
Well, even maybe every 6 months, you
Yeah.
know, and so we'll just continue having, you know, cutting them and making them and, you know, may not be as these big pushes right now to get them done by this, so that we can get them to them for Christmas. But if we can do them ongoing,
yeah.
you know, we have plenty of fabric that, we had a cutting error. See, I'm not the only one that can't cut.
Yeah.
To be fair,
Yeah.
she was cutting a lot of fabric.
Yeah, I was rolling up burritos the one day, and so
I lost my pattern.
they had been trimmed or whatever, and so I was, you know, putting the fabrics together and rolling them up, and so the main pillowcase fabric I was opening up to you know to line it up,
She and I were
opened
both.
Sewing.
yeah, and I opened it up and
the
it
pieces fell
was
apart.
2 pieces. I'm like,
So yeah, so the thing with this, the way we did it, and because I don't know, we cut the fabric to measurement, which was width-wise, which was, you know, like I said, 3/4 of a yard for the pillowcase part, and 1/4 of a yard for the cuff, and 2 inches for the little trim. So we did that, and then we sometimes we needed to iron them because they either had like weird creases, you know how they come off the bolt all crazy, and also so that all the folds were
lined up.
were crisp. And then I had to stack them together, the pillowcase fabric, the cuff fabric, and the trim fabric, and line up the folds on one end, and then cut off the selvages to the shortest, whichever fabric was the shortest. And you know, you think that fabrics are not all the same. You know, you'd have the same 45 width.
Some are 45, some are 44, some are 46.
Yeah, so whoever was shortest won, and I would trim off all the selvages at the same time. So, and then we'd have to iron them again so that we could, anyway, right? No. So from that point you made burritos. And then, then after the burrito sewing we had to iron it and all that. Anyway, I guess in my fervor of cutting, I had that one fabric upside down,
yeah.
and I cut the fold off instead of cutting the selvage.
And
So it's
I went back to buy more of that fabric
so
because we had the cuff and the trim cut, and it was so cute.
It was a kitty cat.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it had
and
little shiny
yeah.
spots on it, and of course they were out.
Yeah.
So I bought another pet-looking fabric, which of course will not go with the
The trim.
and the cuff that we have for it. So, but I think one of the fabrics that just came might, and if not, you know, there's others. But this fabric I got, and I was like, oh, that might go with this other fabric that was sent to us. Because we had a lot of trouble seeing, you know, getting something that would go with it. You know, because every season the fabrics change.
Yeah.
And so I got it. We put them together and went, that doesn't go together.
Yeah.
They're both very cute. I mean, very nice fabrics. It's just
Too busy.
It was
Yeah,
a little,
they're very-
yeah. So
But so we got a lot done. That was 2 days this week that we
Yeah.
sewed. So my
and we
aunt
didn't.
left
When we
on-
say that, it was like hours
All
of
day.
sewing.
Yeah.
Thursday and Friday. Yeah.
And so when we
Yeah.
got done with that, I was like, I'm
That
not
was just
sitting at that.
yesterday.
I'm not sitting at that sewing machine
Yeah.
right now. Yeah.
So I have, since I have so many sewing machines, I have one that I've left here. My little brother. So I just set up my sewing machine. She has hers, and she's doing one stage, and I'm doing the other, and we kind of assembly line them. But Thursday I was supposed to come over. Oh yeah. So it's story time. Thursday I was supposed to take my dog to the vet. And it's an ordeal because she's so old, and I was going to have to borrow my husband's car, and he was going to have to help me get her into the car and all that, because it's lower to the ground. But my son got sick, and talking to him Wednesday night, he didn't have any cold medicine or anything like that, and I was a little bit worried about him. I wanted to see him with my own eyes, so I was like, I'm going to cancel the dog's appointment, and I'm going to come up to Phoenix. But then, I don't know what all, just everything went wrong that morning. And I didn't make it here till probably noon.
The dog couldn't stand up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she had a hard
She's very,
morning.
very,
She's
very
very old. And it was a good thing I wasn't going to the vet because
She's a big
she was
dog.
having a bad morning. So I was there with her, and I had to put on her little rubber socks. And actually, that really helped. And part of it was we had missed her medicine the night before. And that helps her with her nerves and stuff. So yeah, the morning was slow, and then by the time I went to see Eli and come home, it was late in the day. And so, but we sewed for 4 or 5 hours that day, and then I came back Friday and did another few hours yesterday.
And I had meant to sew in the morning while I was waiting for you, and then I sat down over where I cross stitch and said, well, no, I'll just pull out some cross stitch.
Yeah, and she fell asleep.
So,
So
and it's been like that all week. I can't. I got up this morning at 7. And I went, the dog was upset because I didn't go over there. A lot of times I'll go over there and do my Bible reading sitting over there. But I did it this morning lying down in my bed with her. Right?
yeah.
But she was upset that I hadn't gone to sit over there, so I said, okay, I'll go over there and eat a little something and
Put your hand down from your mouth. No one can hear you.
sorry, eat a little something and sit with the dog for a minute. And at 8 o'clock, I said, okay, I'll get up now. I woke up when you texted me.
I know. I woke up at 8 well, of course, I was trying to do this all night, and I was asleep. I was sleep crocheting, and it doesn't ever work out. And so finally I'm like, well, I hope I can get those 2 done tomorrow in time, and I'm just going to go to sleep. And I woke up at 8 and thought, okay, I should get up. And I was like, oh, they're not up yet. So I closed my eyes.
We weren't.
And I'm like, oh man, the sun is very bright in here. What time is it? It's 10 o'clock. I have a lot of plans for today. I gotta go.
And she's like, since my phone isn't blowing up, I guess you guys are not awake.
So.
Yeah, I can't believe it. I mean, 8 o'clock, I was sitting there and I'm going to get up now.
Yeah, it's been a crazy week.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of personal sewing to do, but we got to get these things done. So we're going to have another couple days of hard push.
Mm-hmm.
Like really come over here at 8 in the morning and work till 5.
Yeah, because we don't want to be, on December 23rd or something like that.
Well, to get them there by Christmas, we want to have.
Yeah, we want to have them done in time.
We got to ship them.
4,
Yeah.
5, 6.
Yeah,
2, 3, 4.
And I don't want to pay for next day air or anything like that.
No.
So
Yeah,
we got to get.
Not with those. They're going to weigh 3,000 pounds.
Yeah.
I know. So we got to get busy on that. Alas, our days are so busy that it's like at Christmas time, you want to take time to enjoy the season. In a way, it's good for us this month that we're very busy.
Yeah.
But you want to take time to enjoy this. Sorry.
You
You want to take time to enjoy the season. There's a but she talks about that. I want a silent night.
Yeah.
And she's talking about how busy, and you go Christmas shopping or whatever, and you just end up just the month goes by and you don't.
And all stressed out and everything. I do that to myself.
That's what was so nice about Zoo Lights, and I hadn't been to Zoo Lights in years. But that was one of the things that was so nice about it is the real enjoyment of the season.
But something to do that isn't, you're not
That's why I
going
decided.
shopping and
that's why I
doing,
decided. I'm making a lot of things for a lot of people, but I have shawls and things that I'm making for Rachel and Judy and stuff like that. And Hannah's quilt. But I decided I'm not gonna freak out about Christmas gifts this year, except for my dad. It's the only one I want to get done.
Yeah.
And so I don't feel so much pressure.
Well, yeah, and I'm having
making. I'm
having to rethink how much I can get done.
Well, yeah, and I started thinking about that, and I thought, I don't want to feel. I already feel stressed this month. I don't want to feel more. So I'm really trying to pull back. And I read something somebody posted that said the first Christmas was really simple. It's okay if yours is. And I was like, heck yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to put the tree up tomorrow. But in order to put the tree up, we have to rearrange some of the furniture in here. And that would have been easier if I'd done that before I asked them to bring the boxes in.
Well,
because we can't use our garage door.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, because our garage door.
The guy came on Monday and he said, yeah, you need a new garage door. This door is... He said, just limit how many times you open it. And the new door won't come for 9 weeks.
9 weeks?
Yeah, 9 weeks. And so we have to use this front door. So which is not a problem, except that I can't pull these things into the path of the doorway for very long.
Yeah.
So I am going to have to pull them out and move that heavy. The coffee table weighs 1,000 pounds. It's a big, heavy wooden table. It's very heavy, and it's nice.
Is it heavy?
It's got two. It's got the top and then it's got another shelf underneath. It's very nice. But most coffee tables you can kind of shove it with your knee a little bit. Not this one.
Sorry, that was the dog alarm. For no reason.
Well, I just am trying to keep things simple. I told my husband, I think I'm ready to think about getting a tree. And he goes, okay, I didn't ask you because it's whatever you want, because this month is hard.
Yeah.
And, but I bought a tree skirt in hopes that I can feel good about it and everything. I will. And I want to do something for the kids for sure.
Well, besides the fact that Mom would never want us to not celebrate Christmas. It's one of her favorite seasons, and all she ever thinks about are the kids, and she'd be like, what about the kids?
Yeah.
And, even when her father passed away when we were babies, she made sure it didn't, and so it's hard, but it would be disrespecting her to not celebrate the season. And I've kind of gotten
I'm just trying to be nice to myself and not, because I want to do those things, but I certainly don't want to feel stress about it.
And
I have to get up the lights, I have to do this, I have to do all that. I don't have to do anything.
I've kind of gone over into the way of decorating more for Christmas than I have in the past. The stuff on the table and eventually I will have my ceramic stuff, and that's where it lives during Christmas, is on this table. But I have so much stuff that I have trouble, so many ceramic snowmen, that I have trouble finding places to put them all.
Yeah.
but
But you know
they
what
make
I
me
mean.
happy
If it makes
and-
you, if it's not stressing you out and it makes you happy, that's one thing. But you know how you know how it is, and you
Yeah.
start to stress, and then you start yelling at people, and then you
Yeah.
start, like that's not, and that's why that's kind of, I guess, what I'm thinking is I want to do what I can and want to do. I don't want to feel like I have to do.
Yeah.
And that's new for me, because I'm always like, I gotta do this, I gotta get everything ready, I gotta,
Well, and even stuff about this party tonight, I know I will enjoy it once I go.
yeah.
But I'm like stressing about.
At least you're not making your gift hours before it's supposed
I think
to
I would
be
stress
ready.
less. I think I would stress less if I had made it. But none of the things I make are my favorite things. It doesn't mean I don't like the stuff I make, but they're not my favorite things. So, but I want to finish this quilt. I want to finish. I have 2 other quilts I wanted to get done. I'll be lucky if I get one done, but I'm not gonna like super push about it, because the other one I have in mind, it's okay. And then I cut some of the stuff for the snowman table runner, and I'm like, I can get that done in January. I like my snowmen to be around for a while, because
There's no snowman here anyway.
snowmen are winter things.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. Not stress. I can't add stress to my already piles of stress that I have. So I'm trying to take it easy,
That's
and
like
trying to
that-
have a good attitude, and trying to just.
I had that one poem when I used to work at Family Life. I found it. I don't remember if it was in the one of the books that we carried at Family Life. It was something, it was a Christmas kind of thing. It had like recipes and poems and songs and whatever. But one of the poems, I think that was where I found the poem. I don't know, but there was a poem in there that I don't remember all of it. And I have it printed off somewhere, put away somewhere. But it says something about I will attend to my little acts of kindness early, and it was talking about the idea of I want to do all this little stuff that I'm going to do, but I want to do it early so that when it comes time for Christmas, I can be quiet and calm and hear the angels sing. Is what they're talking about. So, and I've always thought that that's really good, because inevitably, especially like when I've said, oh, I'm going to cross this for this person and this for this person, and so I'm like up to the last minute, frantically stitching and then frantically finishing stuff, and I'm still going to end up doing some of that, but.
You don't have to do that for me.
Not for me.
But I'm
either.
so I'm this year, like last year and the year before, I started in July, and I'm stitching Christmas stuff, for everybody, for months, and trying to get things done, and so this time, it's a combination of some stitch stuff and some not stitch stuff, and smaller patterns and stuff. So hopefully I'll, I have a few more weeks.
I know. I looked at the calendar last night. I was like, oh man.
Well, this one, and by the way, it's going pretty fast because
Yeah.
this is writing
Words.
mostly. In the trees, I don't think it'll take that long.
Yeah.
I'm doing it. Okay, what can I do right now without having to count? And if I get the count off on these little stars, I don't care, unless it's like where something else is supposed to go. But
Ta-da!
Yay! That's only one more?
It's
Or is that all of
need-
them?
No, I need one more, but that went fast.
That's good.
Gee, where'd you get that nifty scissor fob?
I know. And it's not even a broken cookie. You actually made it for me. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Sorry.
Available on our Etsy shop.
I think that it's time to wrap up.
Yeah, I think so. I just didn't tell you the story of last night.
Oh, what happened last night?
Well,
Oh, yeah.
one of the reasons I was late starting my crochet, we'd watched a movie, dog went out, dog came in, and I was actually glad this happened, because if it hadn't happened, everything would have been worse. She came in, and I moved my foot on the tile, and I felt something cold and squishy under my foot.
And it wasn't a bunny.
And it was something very icky. But if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't have discovered that my dog's back foot was full. It's dog poop. And I'm like, oh. Now, poor thing, she cannot really stand, you know, how, when she was younger, you could just have her stand there, you pick up one foot and clean it, right? But she was like, I can't do that. And so we're trying to get her to lay down, and she won't lay down because she's very interested in the treat we have, and she's like, what? And so she keeps getting up. Meanwhile, smear. So I'm like, Mark, come help me. And so he's running, getting, you know, hot water, paper towels, and I'm trying to clean her foot and clean. I'm like, but if I hadn't stepped on it, I wouldn't have
known.
noticed,
She'd
and she
attract
would have
it.
tracked it everywhere, all
Yeah.
over the house. But, you know, because she's,
Poor
you know,
thing.
it happens. And probably, you know, she's unstable, so she kind of, you know, because she usually doesn't ever step in anything and bring it in. But, yeah. And so that was my little fun adventure.
So it was
in
like
pet
having a
ownership
toddler
last night.
again. Potty training a toddler.
Yes.
That's what I was thinking.
Or
was
actually, when my
animals
kids
are,
when
you
my
know.
kids were little, we would try to go out and play in the grass around our little townhome complex, and inevitably one of them would, as Mark used to call it in college, get shooed. So he would say, "Oh, I got shooed," meaning you stepped in dog poop, and so there I was with, you know, a stick and a paper towel, cleaning my kids' shoes. I mean, it was almost to the point where like, no, we're not going to go outside and play. You're just going to get full of dog poop. And it's not their fault. It's
Yeah.
the people whose dogs leave poop all over the yard. But in this case, it was my dog poop.
Because they lived in a
Well, yeah, we lived in a
townhouse.
townhome complex, and, you know, the grassy areas, you just never knew. And the
Yeah.
kids, you know, they're running. You don't want to stop them from running and playing. But, boy, we'd come home like, let me see your shoes.
Well, I'm glad
Stinks.
when we lived in the apartment there on 48th Street that Robert was in high school.
Yeah.
You know, when he was little and playing, you know,
Yeah.
we were in a house.
Yeah.
You know.
But yeah, so Quilter got shooed last night, and
But Robert usually had mud all over him.
mud you can handle. But anyway, so that was my adventure last night. Anything else happen? No.
I couldn't move yesterday, but yeah.
Yeah,
I
you know,
think
even
we're
yeah,
just-
I understood how you felt because I just what little I did yesterday,
Yeah.
my back hurt last night too.
I couldn't
Just
move.
from yeah,
I could not move.
Oh.
I when I texted you last night, I thought I am going to have to not go to that party
Yeah.
because I can't take ibuprofen. That's what would have helped,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Neither can I.
And I don't possess any muscle relaxers or anything. So
well,
Oh.
I'm glad you're feeling better. 'Cause
Last
you're going to
night
that
I-
party, darn you.
last
I'm
night
feeling better. Not good,
Yeah.
but better.
for the party, you know, we're supposed to wear pajamas and you know, I wear like ratty t-shirts and you know,
TMI.
yeah. So you know, so I don't have any, you know, fancy pajamas. I have one nice pair of well, they were once upon a time nice pair of pajama pants. You know, the stretchy, you know, kind. But I've had them for so long and I wear them so often that, you know, they're not fit for public consumption. So for this party, I was like, what am I, you know, I don't know if to buy pajamas. I don't know what I'm going to do. So I actually bought, the other day at Walmart, I bought just some sweats, you know, a shirt and pants. and that was what I was going to wear. But then on the way, when I was wandering around in there, I saw a T-shirt that says Claus is coming to town. It's Claus, Claws, and there's a picture of a cat,
Oh,
going
fun.
like this. So that's what I'm going to wear tonight.
Oh, that's fun. No, I have another story. So, since I was up trying to crochet this at god awful hours of the morning, I'm sitting there. I have my headphones in because I'm watching the second Planet of the Apes, and all of a sudden I feel and hear, even above the movie, boom, and both cats were on the couch and they went, and I was like, "Did you hear that?" And I'm like, "What is that? What is that?" And then a little while later, I heard it again, and then a little bit after that, we've talked about that Citizen app. I got a notification on there, or actually I went to go look, and it said 2 loud explosions heard, and it said, like less than a mile away on McKemmy. And McKemmy is a street that kind of accesses our neighborhood, but it was on the other side of Ray, so on the other side of the major street that we live near. And and I didn't think about it last night, but this morning I on my way here I called Mark and I said, "Hey, call Stacy," because he has a friend who plays oboe with him in Chandler Symphony, who lives very close to us. She just lives on that McKemmy Street on the other side of the major road. And I said, "She lives up there," and that's where it said it was, according to the map I was looking at. So he texted her, and he just sent me what she said. She said, "Yes, police were called. They said it was someone blowing things up in a trash can."
Oh my gosh!
Don't know exact details, but yeah, it was right there by her, like across the street from her house.
I do have one kind of sort of story.
Scary.
Yesterday, my dog had a doctor's appointment because I got a card from the vet. This time it came to me and not my dog. Sometimes they come to, Rogue, you need to tell your mom. So she had a senior pet profile, that's a blood test. And my dog is bald.
She's not bald.
Her tail is bald.
She's bald
Her
spots.
back is bald.
She's bald spots.
Around her neck is not bald. But she scratches a lot and bites at her skin a lot. And we've tried some things. And we don't want to keep her on steroids because it's just not good for her. So we had this long discussion about it. This dog loves the vet. She doesn't care about going to the vet. She wasn't growling at them, barking at them, or anything. But she talks to me with her eyes. She'll stare at me and then look at what she wants. Stare at me. That dog was turning so many looks at that door. She just kept looking at the door like, "Let's go. I want to leave. I'm done."
Cute.
When she came back from having the blood draw, her ears and her gums and her tongue were bright red. And I was like, "What is wrong with you?" And he said it was just stress, that her heart was just beating really fast. And she was panting really hard. But I was like, this poor dog went through. She had 3 injections and a blood draw. Poor thing.
Yeah.
Her baby.
But
I'd be upset. I'd be having stress.
she needed the Bordetella because I want to take her to have her groomed and
2, 3, 4, 5,
all that.
6,
So yeah, she's
8.
Yeah.
she's been through it this week, and she was all tired last night.
I'm gonna have to
That's why she was barking.
take my cat Snug to the vet again. A while ago, I took him in because he had been scratching and licking his fur off, and he had like little bald patches on his legs and on his arms and on his tummy, and he had little just sore spots and things where he'd been scratching and everything. So I had taken him in, and we did a food allergy blood draw on him, And so I got a report back on saying, he's allergic to chicken and some other things. And so, and had some recommended foods and all that. So, but they also gave him a steroid injection. And it seems like he was doing really well, with the steroids, of course, and then with the change in food, he seemed to be doing well. And then one day, and I don't know if this was the cause of it or whatever, because it seems like it would have passed by now. But I had bought for my cats these kind of treats that are like push-up kind of things. They're like a tube like this of mushy food, basically, and you can give it to them as a treat. So you snip off the end and you push it up, and usually you see all these videos of this cats going licking the end of it like a push-up, like a little popsicle or whatever. So I had bought those, and I had given them to the cats before. But so I gave him. I had a tuna one for Snug and a chicken one for Puck, and of course Snug was licking his like crazy. But I in the end I ended up like squishing it into his bowl to give it to him, but Puck I gave it to him and he like tasted it, and then he just walked away. I was like, oh my god, because I thought for sure he would love it because he loves wet food, and he usually loves this chicken stuff, and he just wouldn't eat it. And then Snug ended up eating it, and so shortly after that he started scratching again, and I thought, oh, and then but ever since then he's been scratching and licking and everything else, and he's got bald patches again, and I thought, well, if it was the one instance of eating food, that you would think that he'd be over it already. So
maybe
I need to take him back to the vet and see if that was what it was or if it's something else or whatever. So
these animals,
like having kids.
Well, I only recently started trying to do anything about her losing hair. She'd been bald on her back for a long time.
Poor baby.
Yeah.
I couldn't afford to do anything about it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully this week we will
finish the pillowcases we have cut out.
And and
get the first shipment going.
Get some, and then get some Christmas stuff done. So I feel like I haven't done any. I haven't done any. And then the next week, this week, and then the next week I become a Nutcracker widow, which actually means I will get a lot of sewing done. And then the week following, Hannah comes home.
What?
Hannah comes home.
Oh, yeah.
On the 22nd. Which means I'll have to give up my craft room again. I mean, I'm glad she's coming, but... But so I'm like, I have to get stuff
by
done
that time. You have to
here.
Yeah. What time is she coming? What day?
The 22nd, Wednesday.
Yeah, plenty time.
Yeah. I keep forgetting. I keep thinking this is the second week of December, but it's only the end of the beginning of December. I keep jumping myself a week ahead, which is maybe good. But and then Christmas will come in a rush, and then we'll have that week in between, which will be nice. And then Hannah and I are going to Albuquerque. Oh, in other news, Beth and I got information from our youth orchestra in Albuquerque that we were in Albuquerque Youth Symphony program. They're having their 65th reunion in their 67th year because they said the T-shirts were already printed because the pandemic ruined their plans. So we're making plans to go. We're gonna drive over there. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, I always wanted to go to. They've had a few reunions over the years, and I've always wanted to go, but I couldn't really afford to.
I wish we could have gone when Mr. Kempter was still alive.
that
But-
I couldn't really afford to go, or I had stuff going on or
Yeah.
whatever,
But I'm excited.
But
and
when I
it's-
lived in Little Rock, so but now that
it sounds good. Like it's
yeah.
like 2 days of rehearsal and the concerts on Sunday, and they have a party, and they have luncheons and tours of the. They have new.
A new facility.
New-
When I was a kid, we met in
High
schools
schools,
and
yeah.
and at UNM, the
University.
they had two orchestras at the junior high level, and in those days when I first started, it was the Valley Junior Orchestra and the Heights Junior Orchestra, depending on what part of town you lived in, and then there was the youth orchestra and the youth symphony, which were both high school age kids, and the youth orchestra rehearsed at one of the high schools, and the youth symphony rehearsed at the university.
Yeah.
And so now they have built a facility.
I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, an independent facility for all the orchestras to meet in. So it's really great that they've been able to grow. In these days when public schools are cutting their programs and
Yeah.
and all that, it's amazing that
It's a
they're
really
able
good
to,
program.
Yeah.
It's a really, really great, well-established, well-known youth symphony program.
Yeah, and
So-
and with in many youth orchestras around, not everybody who goes into it is going to be a professional musician. They're they're
Right.
just participating for whatever. But
it's high quality though.
some of the people that I went was in there with went on to major in music, including myself, and it was actually in youth orchestra, youth symphony, we had in those days we had a week of rehearsals at the D.H. Lawrence Ranch.
No, yeah, we went to Hummingbird Music Camp.
I want to say I went to Hummingbird one year.
Yeah.
And D.H. Lawrence Ranch the first year. But anyway, it was while I was at the D.H. Lawrence Ranch, I was sitting in rehearsal, and it was in the evening, I think. And out they had these big windows on one side of this rehearsal room we were in, and you could see the sun setting through those windows. And we were playing a piece of music written by Michael Malden, who lives there in New Mexico, and I think it was like Three Hamus Landscapes is what it was called. And so I was sitting there. I didn't play in this one particular passage or something, so I was just listening and looking out the window. It was really beautiful, and I thought, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
With
That's
my
where you
life.
decided.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I was kind of like hemming and hawing, and I don't know what I want to do. There's a few different things that I was interested in, but yeah. So it was during that rehearsal that I decided, this is what I want to do with my
Cool.
life, and
you
yes, yeah. So I did, yeah.
All right. Well, we are gonna go because we have things to do and get ready for our pajama party.
Mm-hmm.
And I have one more to make. I'm sewing in tails as we speak. And we will see you next week. Is that
Yeah,
everything?
I think that's
everything. All right.
Yeah.
Well, happy crafting and happy getting ready for Christmas. And
Yes.
I hope you guys are well and that your season's going great.
And thank you for all of our new subscribers.
we have so many.
We should have said that at the beginning, and I am so sorry, but you guys are great.
Yeah, it's fantastic. We're excited. And
And comment below on what your plans are for these
yeah, what are you
weeks
doing?
coming.
Are you crafting your head off, or are you taking it easy? I'm very curious about that because I feel like in this last year, people are reprioritizing things a lot. Trying to
Did
be
you talk
simple.
about your
Oh, I
t-shirt?
didn't talk about my T-shirt. Rachel gave me this shirt. It says, "Bassoon, it will be Christmas Day."
One of my colleagues in the symphony used to say that all the time.
So, bassoon, it will be Nutcracker Week, and then, like I said, I'll be a Nutcracker widow. Tomorrow, I'm going to be a gig widow. My husband plays at he's playing at a friend's church with him. His friend plays harpsichord, and they have play dates. And So they're gonna play at his church tomorrow morning, and then he has a concert in the afternoon. So I have my day to myself, which means I'm gonna sew. I think I'm gonna finally get out my sewing machine, and because I'll be done with coasters by then.
That's the really bad thing about needing to put away your sewing machine. It's harder to start
That's what
sewing again because you have to take it all out and plug everything in and get it situated, rethread it. And
put
your slippers on.
Yeah, put your slippers. Put your slippers on. We were joking. So in the brother owner's manual for the brother sewing machines, I think yours is the same way. It's telling you how to use your sewing machine, and in every single
mine does.
Look at it. In the illustrations, it shows that, you have to use the foot pedal. And so in the illustration, the person's foot is in one of those old-fashioned house slippers that has, just a slide, when the toe's covered. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what is this? Why does it... I guess it doesn't want to show a bare foot. I don't know. But, I mean, you can just draw it like a sock foot. I'll bet it's in there. Here, let me find it. It's at the very beginning. I'll bet you money, because this is the same kind of illustrations that I have.
But mine has that push button. You can use the button.
Oh, that's weird.
I don't want to sew with a button. And I have to sew with a bare foot.
Oh, well, this is a modern woman. She's just wearing a sock. She has a sock on. Let's see, where is it? Right here. In mine, the old-fashioned old lady is wearing an old house slipper. I'll find a picture of it. It made me so mad. I'm like, are you kidding me? But that's like those old-fashioned things that you read about, like how to sew, and make sure you are
adjust
wearing your
pearls.
Best and adjust your pearls and make your fix your makeup. Because if you feel better about yourself, you'll feel better about your sewing. And if your husband comes in,
I'm sorry if I sew a wrong seam. I sew a wrong seam. That my footwear is not going to help.
But it's just so funny that it looks like that.
Yeah.
That's like in patterns when it says to call for help. It's got an old-fashioned, like one of those old Macs computers that it showed the illustration, and like a flip phone or something. It's just funny. Like, update your patterns, people. All right. Well, you have a good week.
That's my start. This is Santa's belt.
I got way more done than you did.
Me too.
This is 18 count fabric. It's really hard to see.
Thanks for Santa's belt. That's my Christmas present right there. All right. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Have a good week. Bye. Oh, here comes the dog. She heard us say bye. She heard